live. Good afternoon, Crystal. How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself? Did you have a enjoyable, I guess you want to call that a president's holiday?
I did. I on my time, I make sure I have a good time on my time if
Oh,
ever I can.
oh, good, 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 good.
So that
That's
that worked
awesome.
out well. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm good. I'm hanging in there one day at a time, 1 hour at a time. I think one news cycle at a time right about now.
It's all we can do. It's all we can do.
Yeah.
So we have a interesting topic today. Um,
Okay.
we did those 5 ways to advantage a downtown in the market, and after we did that, we started this whole deep down on those 5 ways. And so I wanted to continue that today with the importance of rebalancing your portfolio.
Okay.
So, um, how about if I read your bio
Mm-hmm.
and then we can jump right in? How's that?
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Hello, everyone. You are watching On the Patio with Crystal and Jevon, and I'm about to read Crystal's bio. Our topic today is rebalancing your portfolio, why and how to do that. So, first of all, without further ado, Crystal is a business coach and consultant. She's the CEO of Mitchell Business Solutions, a co-director of Recycling Black Dollars. She's the co-host of The Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, that other weekly radio show. She's an instructor at Mount San Antonio Community College, a certified network for teaching entrepreneurship instructor, and a QuickBooks Pro Advisor financial strategist. Hey, Crystal, how you doing?
Hey everyone, how are you? On this Monday, you all are doing well.
Yes. Also, wanted to make sure that we put back into our lineup the "Don't Be That Guy" section.
Okay,
So
like it.
we're going
I
to do
like
that
that.
too. So here we go. The subject of today's broadcast is rebalancing. What is it? How do we do it? And ultimately, why is it so important? So let's start with number 3. Why is rebalancing so important? As you know, one of my big things that I talk to people about is their asset allocation. That is the stocks and bonds that they choose to invest in, and that stems from their risk tolerance. And so I'm very big on figuring out what that is. And then right along with that is rebalancing your portfolio on a regular basis. So when you get right down to it, have you ever had to rebalance a portfolio?
You asking me? Is this a rhetorical or this is asking?
I know I talk a lot, don't I?
Actually, it's done for me in
Good
the
for you.
in the brokerage platform that I'm in.
Yes, that's the right answer. That's exactly the right answer. Well, rebalancing your portfolio, what it does primarily is keep your risk where it's supposed to be.
Mm,
Because when we invest monies in the market and the market goes up and down and fluctuates, uh, the risk is bound to change. Things that you invested in, some are going to go up, some are going to go down. And what's most appropriate for you is to keep that portfolio at the level of risk that's appropriate for you, and thereby make money throughout the time that you're investing. Right.
mm.
So rebalancing actually allows you to sell the winners and buy the losers. Now, for some folks, that might be counterintuitive. Why would I want to sell something that's doing well? Well, the answer for that is the risk tolerance that you've chosen for yourself, right? So you can't make money in the market unless you actually sell something, right? You don't make money till you sell. You don't lose till you sell. So in order for
Mm.
you to recognize those gains, most times you need to sell something. Okay, so let's say we're going to sell the winners and buy the losers. Why would we want to buy the losers? Well, if we want to buy the losers because, or I'm sorry, why would we want to sell the yes, sell the winners and buy the losers? We want to buy the losers because we want to buy cheap and we want to sell high. And so what
Mm.
rebalancing does is it allows us to do that on a regular basis. So now the question is, okay, if I want to sell the winners and buy the losers, that is, I want to make sure that my portfolio stays where it is, that is the level of risk that I'm taking, that it stays where it is. How often should I do that? Well, in my opinion, you should do it at least once a quarter
Mm.
if you can, at least once a quarter. And it's easy to do. As you just mentioned, you can go to your portfolio, hit the button, especially if you're in a qualified plan, hit the button that says rebalance, and your portfolio will get rebalanced back to your particular risk tolerance. So that's why it's very important that you have the right risk tolerance for you. If you have a target date fund, then they're rebalancing almost daily sometimes. So they're always doing that, right?
Mm.
I don't think most of us as investors have time to sit at our computer and rebalance our portfolios on a regular basis. So that's one advantage for a target date fund. They'll rebalance for you all the time and whenever it's necessary. So, who knows, right?
Yeah.
So, as an ordinary investor, how are we going to do that? Back in the day, when I first started in this business, people would call up and they'd say, well, I bought this particular fund and this particular fund and this particular fund. And this was outside of their retirement plan. And so that's not appropriate. So we need to regroup. And so then we would go through that exercise of, okay, what's your risk tolerance? Where did you start? And let's go back to that mix, right? So that you can count your coup. That is, you can realize those gains, right?
Right. Right.
Very nice. Very nice. So rebalancing is very important because if you just let things go, we have situations that we ended up in the dot-com bubble. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Right, where the hot ticket was much like it is now. It was tech stocks, and people were making money in the market, and they were just letting it roll, letting it roll, letting it roll. And unfortunately, because they didn't have a well-diversified portfolio that they had rebalanced on a regular basis, unfortunately, when the tech market tanked, a huge amount of their money, more than should have happened, actually left. And that hurt people a lot, right?
Yeah.
So it can be counterintuitive to 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 make sure that you keep your portfolio in the risk tolerance that's appropriate for you. But it's necessary for you to do that. One expression that we used to use was uh, the portfolio that keeps you up at night is not a good portfolio. So many folks, and I'm actually a little bit ashamed to admit it, but many folks were dramatically more aggressive than they should have been because when they saw that their portfolio was doing horribly, they panicked,
Yeah.
right? They'd taken too much risk. So to avoid that, A, we want to make sure we have some way of identifying what our risk tolerance is. But B, we want to make sure that we rebalance on a regular basis. And I'm going to say that's quarterly, at least semi-annually. The expression was you need to let things run a little bit before you rebalance them. But the best way to do that is if you work with a platform is to find that rebalance button and push it, and then you can select usually how often you want to have it rebalanced. But if you can't do that, then going through the exercise of actually selling some investments, buying some others so that your risk tolerance is where you want it to be, I think is a great exercise because it really allows you to see what it is you're investing in, how it's performing, and it puts you in touch with your portfolio. All right. So rebalance your portfolio. What do you think?
I think that's excellent, and I think in the current times that we're in right now, I think the more they know and understand about the companies they're investing in is probably a good idea as well.
I think you're absolutely right. Now that we have tools and actually investments out there that are uh, they are, shall we say, environmentally sensitive. They are morally sensitive, with social investing, that kind of thing. And we as investors have so much power to invest the way that we want to in particular
Mhm.
companies. There was a time when people would say, oh, I don't really want to invest in green type investing because they don't really make as much money. Those days aren't necessarily here, right? And there are lots of folks that are saying, I don't want to invest in these types of things because they invest in tobacco, or they invest in alcohol, or they invest in morally repugnant companies. And those days they're not gone, but you can find ways around investing in those things. And financial advisors have a duty to put that in front of you. So don't think that you're stuck in any way. So um, I definitely support you there. Definitely support that.
Yeah.
So easy way to do: hit the button. If you can't hit the button, then talk with your financial advisor and make it an exercise that you do together. I would, or sell the winners, buy the losers, and make sure you get your portfolio rebalanced. So that's that. Okay. Are you ready to talk about don't be that guy?
Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about him in this day and age.
You know, I thought a lot about don't be that guy and what that would be for today's broadcast.
Okay.
And I'm uh, often quoted as saying, "Love looks different than it used to." Right, and so
Mhm.
in that vein, I want to impress upon our listeners that you don't want to be that guy that doesn't have a plan and save for your children's future.
Mm.
And I'm not going to suggest any particular tool. I'm going to say either you develop some type of life insurance policy for yourself or for your child, especially for your child, if you can, or some type of college savings thing, or some
Mhm.
type of Roth IRA program, or even just a way of putting away money on a regular basis. And I don't think it has to be a large amount of money, because if we're talking about a 20-year period, that's a lot of time. That's a lot of time
Yeah.
to put money away on a regular basis. And so I would say that for new parents, especially, grandparents, especially, people that have relationships with children, please start saving for them as early as you can, as early as they arrive on the planet. Start some type of savings program for them. I was thinking about this today. Your child may not remember all the PlayStations that you got them or all the video games that you got them, but they will remember the help you gave them paying off their education, or taking that trip around the world, or the money that you put down for their first home.
Yeah.
Right? They may pay you for that. So whatever program you use, and there are so many out there. I've talked with financial advisors that suggest just open up a Roth IRA for your kid, and I've talked to financial advisors that suggest just start the college 29 plan and have everybody send money for that 529 plan. And I've talked to advisors that say, just start something. I think the worst thing to do is to suggest that, oh, if my kid wants to go to college, they'll find a way. That's not necessarily possible now.
Mm-mm.
It
No,
really
it's not.
is. It really is tough to do, and for so many of us, uh, the way that the world is going, that advanced training after high school, maybe even after college, is so important for uh, that first or second or maybe even third job. So if you can, find a way to just help out a little bit. And it may not be much, but a little bit is a good thing. Just a little bit, it'll grow. And have your have your relatives and friends chip in throughout the years.
But and
So,
then you can actually, there are a number of those new platforms out there, digital platforms, apps that you can set up funds for, say, family members, nieces and nephews, at birth, give them, that's an an excellent gift, as
mhm,
opposed to clothing and stuff that they're going to outgrow. Start putting money into a portfolio. I think one is called Acorns, for the
mhm,
little ones,
sure.
and then you can start doing that. And I think that maybe, I don't know, where we are and the possibilities, the non-possibilities, things like what everyone waits for is their Medicare and Social Security. It's definitely in danger right now. So who knows what the heck that's going to look like down the line.
Well said.
And so so traditional retirement options may not be there for them.
Very well said. Very well said. And it's very possible. I think you're right that things are going to change, and they might change back, and they might change again a few times by the time that person is ready to go. Very, very well said. Very well said. Yeah. Okay. Any other comments for our audience?
I have one. A young lady that I have a couple podcasts, but the one I have on Thursday, the community briefing, is I launched that during the pandemic to provide information to our community, meeting individuals that are sitting at certain tables that they're not sitting at. So this young lady, she's 26. She started coming about 3 months ago, and so she's there usually every week. Probably the youngest person next to the youngest. Yeah, she probably is the youngest person on the platform. So last week we had, or 2 weeks ago, we had Jane Reese Wilkins that came here talking about Medicare.
Yes.
Remember her?
Yes.
So she was there, or she was on the community briefing last week. And she started talking about making preparations for family and yourself, and not waiting into, just like we say, not waiting until 60. You need to really start to be focused on whatever all of that looks like: your retirement plan, your IRA plan, your Medicare, your Social Security, and see what that looks like, and prep for the future, right? So this young lady says, "So what do I need to do about my parents?" And I went, and we all just kind of stopped. She goes, "I am a planner, and I don't want things to come up that may take me by surprise. And I want to make sure my parents are prepared and ready. So what do I need to do as their child that's going to be in the future taking care of her elderly parents?" I was like, all right, you're right there, young lady, at 26 years old, already thinking, what is going to be my responsibility? How can I make sure my parents are well covered, that they have everything that they need? So, and what does retirement look like? So Jane is going to sit down with her and have a conversation with her just to kind of help her. Because she says, I want to make sure that they're living a good life. And I want to make sure they may not be able to make those decisions for themselves. So I want to be able to help guide them. So I thought you like that.
I think that's excellent. I used to travel around the country giving education meetings, and my first one was, I don't want to call it end of life, but it was the retirement meeting. How do you get ready for that? And unfortunately, by the time most folks were old enough were quote unquote old enough to get to that meeting, they thought their planning for retirement had to happen immediately, if not years before. But often that meeting was filled with people in their 30s and especially their 40s, whose parents were either about to embark or just embarking upon some of their later working years. And so, emphasizing things like find the book. If they don't have to create the book, right, that has all of those numbers for insurance, all that kind of stuff. And before that, go to ssa.gov and see what that Social Security looks like, at least while we have Social Security.
And check it periodically. I did that the other day, and I told my sister, she goes, "You check your Social Security?" I certainly do. Every other month, I'm going to check and make sure, and somebody hasn't stolen it.
Yeah, right. So,
they're always looking to break in and take it.
Exactly.
The burglars. So I said, no, I go look. And so to make sure I understand what's happening.
Yeah.
Because one thing is, I'm waiting to do mine's around, later 70ish. And my sister wanted to do hers, and I said, well, right now might not be a good time, just in the sense that there's some uneducated individuals digging around in there. are over there. And you don't want to put an application in and it gets lost, and then they just kind of like delete you from the whole system. You just want
Can't get you back.
right. So just leave it. Don't touch nothing right now.
Yeah, you know where it is.
Hoping there's a security lock over there. So yes, I advise everyone to go over there and take a look. Just like you do your stock portfolio, go take a look. Don't be leaving stuff up to chance nowadays. Just go look.
Take a look.
Take a look.
Well, that's all I have to say on that. Do you have another word of guidance that you want to leave us with, or shall we close out?
We can close out.
Okay. Well, everyone, this has been On the Patio with Crystal and Jevon. I am a licensed retirement plan advisor, and Crystal, of course, I'm going to read your bio really quick.
Okay. All right.
Crystal is, of course, a business coach and consultant. She's the CEO of Mitchell Business Solutions, co-director of Recycling Black Dollars. She's the co-host of The Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, another weekly online radio show. She's an instructor at Mount San Antonio Community College, a certified network for teaching entrepreneurship instructor, and a QuickBooks Pro Advisor financial strategist. This has been On the Patio, and we are grateful and happy that you're here, and we will see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone. Stay alert. Stay informed.